Ready to bring more pleasure into your life? This video's for you. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name's Fola, and here on Deep Mind Squared, we talk all things bridging mental wellness and spirituality for nurses. In today's video, I wanted to share about the importance of pleasure, and let's just have a conversation about it because there is so much stigma and shame and guilt around that word, what it means, and how we allow more of it into our life. What I've learned through my shamanic journey and this path of life is the fact that we need to allow more pleasure and be open to experiencing it and creating it in life. Otherwise, we go about life just not enjoying things, and I think that's pointless. Like, we came here for a reason. But growing up in a place where, pleasure, especially around sexual pleasure, was not really looked at so positively, it can be hard to flip that switch. So I hope to share with you some ways to support you and to start to open up to more pleasure, which I think overall is going to build your energy and really start putting you on that path of alignment with your life purpose. Before we get into all that, I invite you to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're updated on future video releases. And how exactly does this apply to nurses? I think it's super important. As caregivers, we tend to just give. We don't really fill our own cup. We might completely abandon ourselves in terms of supporting others first and just not caring for our physical body, our mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. So pleasure is this idea that we can build energy and connect to the source of all energy at any time. And that this pleasure is going to really brighten up our life, to allow us to build relationships and connections with those in our communities or those that we're serving in a much more light and heart-filled way. And ultimately, it's like a feeding back and forth, because when we are supporting ourselves, we're able to support others, and it just creates this beautiful flow of giving, gifting, and receiving energy. So this morning I was just chilling out and I'm like, my usual would be let's try to create some work or do something towards our goal. But I've really been managing my time differently lately and trying to create more space for self-care. And this is where the pleasure comes in. So this morning, as I said, I was just kind of in this sort of space where I'm like, and I just felt this need to really move and connect with my body. And so I've spent most of the morning just really having fun and engaging with the space here and with music and sound and movement. I was hoop dancing, which I haven't done in quite a few weeks. And I could just feel this sense of pleasure building inside of me. So movement is one great way to support yourself in building that sense of connection to pleasure. Moving your body, especially as women, we aren't really moving our hips so much or doing those things, it's we're just sitting or busy doing other types of tasks, and it just isn't healthy for our physical body. We need to make sure that we are taking part in activities that are going to really help us connect to this beautiful temple. And the important thing about this movement, I think, is that it needs to be fun, and we need to have playfulness and connect really to that place of the feminine energy, which is creativity. And so it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or whatever you identify as. This is about these two forms of energies that various different traditions talk about. We have the yin and the yang. We have that feminine and masculine energy, and this exists within all of us. And so with pleasure, we are allowing that flow of energy to move through us like water and to just connect and see where it wants to bubble up within. And this is why I think kids are just so amazing, is because they are constantly in that state of just pleasure and enjoyment of life. They play and they have fun. They make believe. If you just sit with a kid, this is a great way to engage with that sense of connecting to what lights you up. I know when I play with my child, I'll be like, how do you even come up with most of this stuff? And yet I think back to when I was a kid and how creative and imaginative I could be with other kids and just on my own even. So it's tapping into those spaces again can be really supportive. How can you bring more playfulness into your life? Maybe there's an activity that you have enjoyed doing, a hobby, and anything. And how can you start to create that again, bringing it in, tapping into it, no matter what anyone says? Be like out in public, just be silly, like just have fun and like make people laugh and laugh at like the stupidest, silliest things. That's all ways that we can start to bring more pleasure into our life. Also, creativity. And I guess you can see how these kind of all sort of intertwine with each other. But being creative through various forms of art, different mediums. I was playing the guitar this morning. Like I said, I was dancing with the hoop. Like, there's so many ways, but really it's about, I think, expressing ourselves past these sort of labels or these boxes that we've created or had created and put ourselves in. When we can tap into this creativity, we are allowing more of that pleasure to show up because we are literally like aligning ourselves with source or spirit, that direct source of energy that produces life. And this also taps in then to the next part of pleasure, which again, a lot of people don't want to necessarily talk about, but I'm going to say it here, and that is sex. Any form of sexual engagement can support us in building pleasure. And I made another video about this, about building sexual energy, because I know for not everyone, sex might be a taboo or something, but you don't need to necessarily engage with another person or do sexual activities to build sexual energy. This is about that life force energy that comes and builds inside of us, usually at the root space, so like the lower chakra, and it allows the energy to move up. And that energy creates life. Eggs and sperm. It can literally create life. But we can also use that energy to create more flow and more pleasure and excitement within us. So whatever you want to tap into around sexuality, you can do that. Check out that other video. Pretty sure I talk about forms of breathing techniques that can really support you with engaging that pleasure, engaging that sexual energy. And ultimately, you're going to start to see things healing in your life and starting to shift. And you're going to just be generally more happy. So let us know in the comments, what do you think about this topic? Where are you along that whole pleasure-pain continuum? Because really, they are kind of one and the same thing. It's just, where are you wanting to create more suffering in your life, and where are you wanting to create this pleasure and enjoy the life, this one life that you have been given. Feel free to also like and share this video with anyone that you think might enjoy watching it. And I look forward to seeing you all in another video. Take care.